All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so this class in particular is going to show you how to set up Google Analytics with your Playster website. And what is your name actually? Nice to meet you.
Yes, you are.
Laura. Yep. Yep, Director of Innovation and Technology. Basically, it's a title that they give you when they want to throw everything at you. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So,
You're awesome. That's the best way to learn names. He's on vacation right now. Yep. So he'll be back next week. Yeah, I'm excited for him to get back. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, this one's going to be about Google Analytics and the Playster websites, but the only part that really matters with the Playster websites is just tying them into each other. So this will apply to anything. So if you're using a different website platform, which I think you all are actually on Playster, but if you're using another platform, the same things will apply to that. It's just where you place that in the website is different. So I can, oh, I see, this isn't plugged in here. All my ports are being used. Try that. All right, so first, what is Google Analytics? Is anyone familiar with it? A little bit. Cindy, what do you know about it? Yes?
Facebook.
So that one is a Facebook Pixel, which is very similar to Google Analytics. Google Analytics it produces its own code, and you plug that into your website, and then it tracks everything with how did people get to your website, who's going to your website, what did they search for to get there. It just gives you a lot of user information and information that'll help you kind of hone in on what it is that you are, what you need to actually spend money on in your marketing, what's actually working and what isn't working for you. So we're going to go a little more in depth onto what Google Analytics is and how it's going to help you. I'm going to show you how to get Google Analytics, how to add it to your KW Playster website, and then what you're going to do once you've done that. So how you measure your results, and then action items for you to take afterwards. So first of all, what is Google Analytics? And what's my next slide? Here we go. Yeah, basically Google Analytics is going to really help you drill down on your marketing dollars. It's not a whole lot of maintenance that you have to do. It's kind of a set it and forget it as far as the setup goes. It's just a way for you to check on everything. So if you're budgeting monthly, especially yearly, you want to check on your Google Analytics and see what marketing efforts are working best for you, as far as if you're spending a lot of time on Facebook. And I always use the example from my graphic design site. I was playing around with different social media platforms, all free on everything, not paying for ads or anything. I was working on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And I was thinking the whole time, like, I think Instagram is my biggest hit. I think I'm getting the most traffic from there. And lo and behold, I look at Google Analytics, and Pinterest was my biggest traffic leader to my site. And the people who came from Pinterest stayed on my site the longest. It's like, guess I need to focus a little more time there because that's working really well for me. So it can really help you focus on, if you're doing multiple platforms, cut it down and focus on the ones that really matter, and then where you need to spend your time and where actually putting ad budget money or budgeting ad money would be best allocated. So I think that's going to help you a lot over time as you have Google Analytics tied to your site. So now how do we get it? Where you're going to want to go on your computer is first log into Gmail. Make sure you're logged into the account that you want tied to Google Analytics. So most people will do their KW account. You can add other users after you've done this, so you can add your personal account or other members of your team to the Google Analytics afterwards, but doing this will make it easy in the beginning. So log into Google with whatever account you want to use. You should be able to. I haven't tried it on my phone, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. Then once you've done that, open up a browser tab and go to analytics.google.com. Joining us? Perfect. If you want to, just make sure you're logged into your whichever Google account you use most for work. And then we're getting started right now with setting up a Google Analytics account. So you'll just head to, once you get in your computer, analytics.google.com. And if everyone can just look up once you get there, so I know that I'm not waiting on anyone. Or if you're having troubles getting there, let me know. Got it? It'll look a little bit different. This is just a screenshot underneath of it of what the site might look like. Yes, perfect. Then when you get to this site, click sign up, and some of you already have. All right, and then did everyone get to the new account page? Okay, so on here, we are gonna select your website. Now see, next to that is mobile app. There's also a way to track to mobile apps as well. But right now, we're just gonna focus on the website. And then, so yeah, you could do it with your website, and then the team will probably be tracking theirs too, or you can let them know how to do that. So that way you can hone in on what's going to your site too. Oh, you only use the team one? Okay. You could play around with the team website one if you want to set it up for them if you don't think they have yet. They do already? Okay, so if you just want to watch for this part, and then if there's ever a site that you want to hook it up to, just let me know. Okay. I think the process is a little slightly different for mobile app. So if you want to hang on, and then afterwards I can work on that part with you. Okay. So website, and then name your account. No one will see that but you, so just name it as something that you'll remember. If you have multiple businesses or something like that, you might want to name it like your KW website, or you could just name it whatever your website is called. Then underneath that, your website name, so it could be the same thing. And then next will be your URL. So they already have the HTTP in there for you, and you just type what the remainder is. So if it's foxcitieskellerwilliams.com or yourname.kw.com, that's what you type in there. And then underneath that, select for industry real estate. The importance of selecting that is that Google Analytics allows you to do benchmarking, which means that you can compare how your site is doing compared to other sites in your industry. So that's kind of a cool thing to look at and be able to compare that way. It'll give you suggestions based off of that too. And then underneath that, reporting time zone, just make sure that you have chosen Central Time and United States for that. Everyone good here? Okay. And then you will also see this box that says data sharing settings. You can do whichever you want. The benefits of sharing with Google products and services, that one is, that one's going to give Google feedback so that they can make the products better. The benchmarking is the one I was just talking about, where it'll compare you to other people in the industry. So that one's kind of cool. The technical support, you have to have this checked off if you want someone to be able to help you when you call into tech support. And account specialist, that's the same thing. That would be typically if you're doing paid ads through Google, then they would need access to be able to see all of that information. So it's up to you what you want to choose. And then at the end, you can hit Get Tracking ID. Then your page probably looks a little different than this. You haven't gotten all of this information up just yet. How is it looking for you? You're in already? Awesome. Great. I can open it up too if I need to. How's it looking for you, Cindy?
I was previously set up. Just looking
Oh,
to
okay.
see what my settings were.
Got it.
So,
Okay. Right. Okay. Once you get yours, just come book a 30-minute appointment with me and we'll get it done. Analytics.google.com. Yep. Oh, weird. There we go. So then sign up. Yep. Yep. So then account name. You could put like Keller Williams, and then under that way, if you ever have like separate sites for some reason. And then your property is going to be, I would typically name it as whatever you call your website or your team name, or so it could be like Colleen Meyer Real Estate or something, or Placer Site or something like that. Yep, STER. Know the struggle, right?
Well, website URL. So I have mine bounce back. So I have row.com, but I also,
Okay.
and then that goes to my Keller Williams site. So which one do I? Do I just put it on my KW site?
When you type it in, does it stay at the top or does it change to your
It changes.
.kw.com? I would type in the .kw.com because that will always stay,
Okay.
and then it won't.
Do I need to leave the HTTP or
Yep.
all that stuff there?
Mhm. Oh yeah, you just type over. So you'll leave that out and then type in the Colleen.Meyer or whatever it is in there. Yep. Awesome. And then in here, you'll pick real estate. Awesome. And then scroll down. It's up to you, but it's not going to really hurt anything to leave it. And then get tracking ID. And then I think there is a accept and then probably button way on the bottom. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, perfect. So then to you're on admin. All right, and then if you scroll down, oh wait, here it is. It is popped up right there. So you can, yep.
Okay.
So then, all right. Everyone good to pick back up? All right, so then what you're gonna do here, it should look something like this. You should have the tracking ID to the side of this little menu. And all you're going to do is you're going to highlight that and then copy it or write it down or something. And we'll be using this in just a little bit. So this right here, that UA, and then whatever the numbers are, that's your tracking ID. That's what's going to tie your website to Google Analytics. And then I'm going to skip past this part and come back to it. So then what we're going to do is, if you want to open in a separate tab your mykw.kw.com. And do I have the steps on here? I do. Okay. Then you'll want to go to hover over technology and then click on KW websites. You're already in the Play Store? Awesome. Oh, okay. It should still work that way.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So then next we're gonna open up another tab and go to mykw.kw.com. Second one. Yep. And then hover over technology and click KW websites. Awesome. And then go to my website. Anyone else? Yep. No, you're good. I should have just walked through that part. Awesome.
So this is the track.
Yep.
what do I
So
do?
highlight that tracking ID and then copy it. Highlight and then click Control C. That'll make it easy. Trackpads can be awful some days. Awesome. And then open up a new tab right next to that. And then go to your MyKW. And then go to the intranet. And then you'll hover over technology, so don't click it. And then click KW websites. Perfect. And then click go to my website. There we go. Awesome. So then on the left-hand side of Play Store, so this is the back-end side of your Play Store website where we've been doing like the editing on your site. On the left-hand side, you'll see, actually, you should see an option to say Edit Site. Yep. And then you'll get this menu. Everyone see Edit Site? Okay. Nope, this is right. So then click Edit Site right here.
This is my old one.
Oh, so you want to correct that later? You can fix all of your pictures and stuff. All right. Then once you're in this menu, scroll to the way, way bottom. And then underneath where it says More, click on Site Tracking. Now in here, Cindy, you mentioned the Facebook pixel. There's also a place in here for Facebook pixels. I'll show that in another class, but it's super simple. All you're going to do is paste that in here for the Facebook one. For Google Analytics, all you're going to do is underneath site tracking, it'll say copy and paste the tracking ID from your Google Analytics admin page. So as long as you've copied that already, all you have to do is click in that box next to tracking ID and paste it in. So that code should look very similar. It'd be UA dash, this long number, and then it's probably -1. I think that's for United States or something like that. So it should look the same as that. What's really nice about this with the Playster sites is that you only have to put it in this one place. Whereas if you had a custom built site through like WordPress or something, you would have to literally go in the footer of every single page and paste that into every single page on your website. So this one does it all from just one spot, which is really nice. Then once you've pasted that, go ahead and hit save. And then we're done with Playster. That's the only thing we have to do to connect it. Anyone having troubles getting their tracking ID out of Google Analytics or getting it in there? Yeah. That is a great question. That is just their brand name. I'm not sure where they got it from.
Right?
They are, so the KW version has a couple extra added features and themes than the NAR version, but then Keller Williams is actually also working on its own website platform. So right now it's sounding like eEdge websites and Playstar are still sticking around, so you'll be able to choose. But KW is just working really on integrating everything into one place, because right now we have like 50 places to enter our name, our email address, and all that information, and they're trying to really just consolidate it and make it easier for everyone. So I don't think the website is like #1 top priority, but eventually down the line they'll be coming out with their own solution as well, which will be nice. I'm kind of excited for it. Yep. For Command, I have very limited access in Command right now, though. I can add contacts, edit them, merge my calendar and my Gmail emails in with it, which is really cool to see. And then that's all I have access to right now. But they have some other cool things tied to Command. They have this one thing called Sketch. It's either, I think it's called Sketch House, where it's like social media designs and stuff like that in there that'll pull right from your listing, and tons of other stuff that's integrated into it. So it'll be nice once it's all available. But it's fun. If you haven't requested access yet, I would definitely do it. The easiest way to do that is through Kelly. We're on a tangent right now, but I figured I'd show you anyway. If you haven't requested access to the labs, all you'd have to do is open up Kelly, and then press the I in the top right corner. And then contacts and calendar are probably grayed out for you, or if they aren't, just click on that. And then if they were grayed out, it's going to say you don't have access yet, request access to labs. Or if you do, actually I do have access to that part. What don't I have access to? Calendar. If it's grayed out, it'll tell you request to join the lab to get access to that. And it'll be like this little green thing. Yep, contacts or calendar. Are you able to click them? Ian is gonna, there you go. And then just hit request access. And then that's gonna put you on the list to get early access to it. Yeah, anyone else need guidance on that part? Nope, because they're both tied into Command. Yep. Awesome. All right, now we're in the part of, we just took our account that we made in Analytics, we tied it to our Playster site. Now, how do we track our activity? Because that's the main reason why we're doing this, right? I think I'm actually gonna get out of the slides. What else do I have in here? I'll give you the overview, and then I'll do like a live view in my account on here. So overview, you can just watch this part, and then we can click in it together afterwards. But tracking your activity. So it takes, after you've pasted this URL in there, it takes maybe like a week or so for Google Analytics to actually start working and measuring your site, because right now they have nothing. So if they gave you data, it'd be super skewed and unreliable. So if you look back in about a week or so, you'll start seeing stuff. So Google Analytics only starts working from the point that you've made that connection right there. So at this point now, it's tracking everything for you. Things you're going to be able to look at. The biggest thing really is audience. A lot of that under audience is going to tell you demographics, age of people that are coming in and looking at your site. It's just going to give you an idea of your current viewership that you have. You'll also be able to look at page views. Information about these terms, I guess. A page view is recorded every time a page is looked at. So if I look at your homepage for 2 seconds, that's considered a page view. Page views by source, that's the origin of your traffic, such as a search engine. Or maybe it was a direct referral, you'll see. So maybe I have a link on my blog that's linked to Tana's website, and someone clicks on it and gets to her site from mine. That's a direct referral. Then page views by title. So that's page tracking, allows you to measure the number of views you had for a particular page on your website. So it'll tell you what's your most popular page. A lot of times it's the about page, but for real estate, I think it's the search page typically for us. Then referral visits. So referral traffic is Google's method of reporting visits that came to your site from other sources outside of its search engine, which is what I was kind of just talking about. Social referrals. That's users arrive at your website or application through a variety of sources, including search engines, social networks, and advertising campaigns. So this is where I was looking at and seeing that Pinterest was my biggest and best referral source from social media. And then page value, that's the average value for a page that a user visited before landing on the goal page or completing an e-commerce transaction. This one you probably actually won't use too often unless you have like set something up where it's a value. They have to type in something or enter something in order to get a value that you're providing. So maybe fill out this form and we'll send you a market valuation, or we'll send you this packet or something like that. All right, I'm going to skip past this part and actually go into it now. So let me move this over and get into my account here. Haha, my verification code. Two-step verification will save your Gmail accounts from being hacked. All right, so here we are. What's interesting is every time I come in here, they must be doing a lot of updates on the look of the site because it's looking different every time I come in here. But the basics are still the same. This one is tied to the Keller Williams Green Bay website. So when I come in here on my home page, I'll see users, sessions, bounce rate, and session duration. So I wouldn't get too hyped up or crazy over these stats as far as bounce rate goes, just because there's so many things that feed into everything. So just a synopsis of what everything is here. Users, that is the number of, I wonder if nope, it doesn't tell me if I highlight over it, but users is the number of individuals that come to your site. So if I come to your site 5 times, I'm 1 user. Sessions, now that adds in, if I come to your site 5 times, that was 5 sessions. Bounce rate, that is if someone comes to your website and they leave after the first page. So they come there and they leave right away. They don't click around. They don't go anywhere. That's a bounce rate. So, or they come to your site and they're gone after that. This is a pretty good bounce rate. A high bounce rate, like 90%, that means there's something wrong with your site. Either it's not loading right, so the pictures are too big and it's taking way too long to load that first page, so people are just leaving right away. Maybe your content isn't very good. Our Playster site designs are pretty decent though. Right when you come in, you have a place to search, so it typically engages people right away. But if you see a really, really high bounce rate, check with me. Test your site, see if it's taking forever to load. We can work on that, but right around 50% is decent. If you have a really low bounce rate, maybe like 10%, that could mean that some people are just getting stuck on your site and it's just loading and not processing anything. So around 50% is decent bounce rate. It's also going to tell you what it's looking like right now versus the past week. So it's telling you if things went up or down. So if maybe you have focused your efforts on sharing a blog post from your website a lot, or you have a new listing, you're going to see different activity on your website. So you can see how effective that was by coming in here and saying, oh yeah, I shared all that stuff this last week. Let me see if it's actually worth my time to keep doing stuff like that. So that's kind of that quick overview that you get of things. This first page has a lot of information on it. That's pretty neat to look at. This tells me, how do I acquire users to our site? So there's organic, direct, referral, social, and other. So you can see organic search. That means that we actually get quite a bit from there. That means that people are actually looking for our website. So they're typing in kwgreenbay.com. Organic, I just mixed those two. Organic means that they're looking for Realtor Green Bay or something similar and they're getting to your website. So they're not just typing that in up top. They're searching for maybe Keller Williams Green Bay in the search bar, but they don't know what your URL is, so they're not typing it in. Direct, that means that they're typing in kwgreenbay.com. Then again, referrals, that is from a link from either social media or another website. And then other is, I'm not sure what they calculate as other from, but other ways that people might get to your website. Then this next part is interesting. It's a little different for our industry compared to others as far as active users. So, and retention. So active users is the amount of people that are actually actively using your site. But next to that is user retention. So for us, we're going to have a slightly lower retention rate than other industries because we are a one-time service for a couple of years, and then a few years later, you're looking for a home, possibly. The way you can change that, though, is if you're blogging. So if you're blogging about local stuff, things that will gain people's attention, whether they're looking for a house or not right now. So that's a way that you can retain more users and get people coming back to your website. And what that does is it ranks you a ton higher on Google. So if someone comes to your website once, like, okay, decent, they get 1,000 people to their website each month, okay. But let's say 50% of those people were there last month and the month before, then Google says, wow, these people are really finding value in this website. I'm going to rank them higher in searches because once they found it, they came back another time and another time. So does that kind of make sense with the retention? Then we have time of day. What you could get out of this is, when are your users active? What days and what times are best to, you could relay this to your social media as a general thing. So if I look at ours, what day is this? Thursday at 1 and 2 p.m. is hot for us. You know, a lot of people at that time. So I might want to schedule social media posts about maybe share my blog posts right around Thursday, sometime around here where it's darker. So you can kind of think about those types of things as far as your strategy goes. The time you post really does matter. But it also tells you when people are actively searching. So apparently Thursday around 1 and 2 p.m. people are tired of working and they're browsing on their computer.
Saturday at 5 and 6 p.m. What?
Right? Makes sense. And then where are your users coming from? I think if I click on this location overview, it might give me an in-depth as far as city state. When I scroll down. So you can keep drilling down further and further. So I clicked on location overview. Then I clicked on United States, and now I'm drilling into Wisconsin. And I can see where the highest hits are from. So Green Bay, De Pere, Howard, obviously makes sense. This is from the Green Bay one. And you can see how things change by area on here. So maybe, let me think of a good way to look at it here. What I would look on here probably is pages per session and average session duration. So when I look here, Nina is rocking it. They only have 4 users, which is not that great, but those people are staying on there quite often. Maybe that's a place where I want to start targeting. Nina, Appleton, yeah, Pulaski. Maybe I want to start targeting ads in that area because these people seem pretty interested in my site. So you can look at things that way, evaluate it, and just one example, but you can really start looking at all of this average session duration. And this is excluding the other states and other cities. So all right, head back here to that home page again. I love that they've added all of this on here because it's keeping us from trying to remember where in the menu everything was. Then it's going to tell you also sessions by device. So that just gives you a little bit of information as to how people are viewing your site. So ours is, wow, we've got more than half of the people going to our site are using their mobile phone, which corresponds to what all of the reports are saying about websites. If your website is not mobile friendly, people are just not clicking on your site. They're gonna go onto your site and bounce off. The Playster sites are very mobile friendly. If you have a different website, you want to make sure that your site is mobile friendly. So think about that when you are creating content for your site. Think about it from the perspective of someone's probably viewing this from their phone. So how do I make this easy for them to read on their phone? So that might mean spacing out your paragraphs a little bit more, making shorter paragraphs because people aren't sitting here reading left to right on their computer screen as often. All of this information here too, like your page visitors and where people are coming from, that's really good if you have good results in here. It's really good information that you could use at a listing presentation. Say, look how many people I get on my website each month. Like your listing is going to be seen. And then here's what pages do your users visit. So here's really where you can tell also if you're blogging a lot, what are is that worth your time? Are people actually looking at your blog posts? Are they reading it? On here, it looks like no wonder Pulaski is so hot. Looks like we have a pretty hot property out there. Lots of people are coming to look at this property here. And our agents. So again, the About Me page is typically one of the most viewed pages on a website. So if you don't have your bio in there, if you haven't customized it, added your photo, make sure you do because people are going to click on that and they want to see something customized on there. Otherwise, they're likely to click off and say, I'll find someone that actually cares about their business. And then you can drill down into these all, again, at the bottom right, they have this pages report and you can go in further and further and see more details on there. All right, so that's your home page. The other thing I want to look at is on the left-hand side over here. There's tons of things you can look at here. There's audience, so overview. I click on that. This is going to show you new visitors here in the blue and returning visitors. And again, you can drill down into this information more and more, so by country, by city. Here is your overview kind of everything. So this was found on the homepage too now. Demographics. So you can get an overview of everything. I think I have not enabled this just yet. There we go. So it might take a minute, 24 hours before I get that data. The reason they ask you to enable it, it used to be automatically on there, I believe, is that now with that GDPR thing, you have to state that our site is going to collect data from you. Do you accept? So you know how every time you go on KW Connect, it has you click that button that says accept cookies or whatever you're collecting from me? Your site has to state that in the privacy policy and all of that. Then you'll be able to look at age, gender, and everything else on here. Right now, it's not going to show me anything. Awesome. Then interests. This, I think, is also from that demographics. But this will tell you what people are interested in and looking for on the internet. You have it? What are you seeing on there?
Real estate related, 5.49%.
Huh. Yeah. Oh, is it?
So then I get it. So it's just.
Oh, yes, here's the enable button.
Oh,
But
so
that's what it could show you is stuff
it's-
like that.
yeah.
So you could see though, let's say
I-
you'll start to see who your the people are that are coming to your site. What's that? Yours doesn't have it? You scrolled all the way.
Demographics overview.
Huh. What site are you in? At gmail.com or at kw.com? Huh. That is interesting. I don't.
Yeah. Cycling.
Who, if did you just set this up new right now on her account?
No.
Okay, that might be, she might have like the shared access to it. So whoever created the account would have to give you access to do that, or they'd have to do it themselves. That might be what it is. But yeah, so just think how important that is to, again, when you're creating social media posts or a blog post, if you find out, oh wow, all of these women between the age of 35 and 45 who love to go on walks and love cycling, keep looking at my site. Like maybe, okay, well, I don't think of blog post idea. Places to go on walks and cycling in Appleton, Wisconsin. And that can bring more viewership and more repeat traffic to your website. So they're learning about you and they're learning to like, know, and trust you as a person. On your site is a search tab for homes. They know you're a realtor and you're just really cultivating that relationship and building a following with interests that people actually have, because people love houses, but they're not looking for houses all the time. Of our agents, it's very small, but it's I would say it's a really, really effective, inexpensive thing to do, and you don't have to be I can't think of an awesome poet right now, but yeah, you don't have to be a poetic person. You just give them the facts. That's all people really want. I don't want to sit here and read, like I click off blog posts that are too lengthy and whatever, like just get to the nitty gritty, maybe show a little bit of personality, but yeah, absolutely, we can work on a strategy for that. So, all right, and then, so there's a ton of things in here that you can kind of go crazy over. I wouldn't worry about having to know everything in here. but just know that it is there. And the main things that you want to look at are measuring your efforts. So seeing what matters most in your marketing. So you can do that by seeing the pages that are the most popular, seeing where people are coming from, and then also knowing your audience is going to help you too, because maybe you see the audience and you don't care for that audience much. Maybe you need to start creating content that actually appeals to your ideal client there too. So you can either find out who your clients are, their interests or potential clients, people that are coming to your website, or you can also see like, oh, I really need to develop my preferred client on my site, because then I can bring more people in that are the people that I like working with. So any questions on this part here? All right, there's one other thing that I want to show you that I skipped ahead of in the slideshow. All of this data we're looking at, do you think there's a way for it to be tainted? How could it be tainted? How could we be tainting it ourselves? Right. So every time you edit your website, you preview it, right, to make sure it looks right. I used to get so excited when I first started my graphic design site, and I'm like, oh my gosh, someone's on my site right now. Oh, there was someone went on my site 3 times today. This is awesome. This was like, I had just launched it. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, I'm like, I was on my site 3 times today. Oh, okay. So what do we do to get ourselves out of there? I'm gonna go back here because I don't remember what the site is for that. All right, almost there. So this is what we're gonna do is we're gonna exclude your IP address. So the first thing you wanna do is go to Google, just a Google search, and type in what is my IP address. And it'll pop up right there, your public IP address. You can just highlight that. Hmm? Nope. Your IP address is your computer. That's where like the CIA can track someone down by their IP address on their computer or their phone or stuff like that. So you have one, this is your computer's identity. So you can, so if you have multiple computers, you'll have to do this on each of those computers if you're editing your site on there. Yep, is yours the same? Don't tell me that. Shut it, no way. Hold on, it's probably this site right here. Is this the same one? Yep. Oh man, someone told me this worked. So my graphic design site is still doing really good right now. Just kidding. I think you can. I was trying to find an easier way to do it in here. All right, so let me see if it'll do it by typing IP address. Nope. It. All right, we'll do a quick Google search together because Yep. Anyone find it already? Someone doing it already? Oh, here we go. CMD. There we go. and then we type in ipconfig. I'll try it first to see if it works. All right, then our IP address is IPv4, I believe. Nope, physical address. This IPv4. Both of them. Select text and a copy. See, this way is so confusing. That's why I wanted an easy way. I think these are both. I believe it's the IPv4 that we want. We'll try that and see if Google likes it. All right, so copy. Then we'll go back to analytics. And let me remind myself of where I was going next. View, add filter. Live testing right now. All right, so I clicked back on my website name up here, and then go under views, I think. Or is it here? Why isn't it opening? View. Yeah. Okay. Huh. It should be, you should be able to exclude it from your views, but for some reason, I'll try going in this way. For some reason, it's not looking the same way it used to. Let me go to the admin, see if that fixes it. Ah, here we go. Okay, admin, then under view, then filters. So let me go back. Let's see, where were we? Of course, it's hard to go back. Down here's this cog, admin. Over here to the third column, view, and then filters. And then I clicked add filter. And then we'll name that KWFC training computer. And then predefined exclude destination IP addresses. And then awesome. So it'll let us paste either or of those. IPv4. See if that works. That are equal to. There we go. All right. Anyone need me to backtrack any steps? Yep. So I typed in my search at the bottom, CMD, and then on command prompt, my cursor is right after my computer's name, and I typed in ipconfig space / all, and then enter. You guys see that? And then underneath the Ethernet adapter and all that information, I copied my IPv4 address. Everything that's before the caret and preferred. Does yours look different?
To this part. So I.
Oh, perfect. Yep, so filter name, you could call that, yeah, that's perfect. And then select filter type, exclude. And then source IP address. And then expression is equal to. And then paste it right in here. And then scroll to the bottom, and I think there's a save. Awesome. So if you scroll up, it should be up there now. We did it. Yeah, it must be.
So,
Huh.
what was it?
Your user management, yeah. Just her.
So did someone set this up for Tamara?
I wouldn't think so. Huh. I wonder, there's got to be a place where you can change your permissions since it's just an @gmail.com. A-1 group 1, what was that? Go back to users again. A group 1. Oh. She hasn't worked with anyone for marketing, has she?
Unless she did before.
See if mine is called that too. Users. Oops, that actually was right there. Yeah, because mine is just called our name. So I wonder, and what permissions does she have on there? Or are you not even able to see them? So someone might have set it up for her, where you could just reset it up yourself from scratch. Yeah. But it would start new tracking and stuff, so it would be different data. You wouldn't have like the comparisons on it, but if you can't figure out who did it, then yeah, you might just want to set it up yourself. Like, can I laugh at this? Did you get it, Cindy? Awesome. Sorry, it floundered a little bit there. All right, and that brings us to our end, but that's going to give you some better data on there. You might want to do it with your team members if they're editing the site too, but for the most part yourself. Any questions on analytics? One other thing you might want to do is, if you're nerdy like me, they have an app for it on your phone. You can download the analytics apps and just see like the graphs or the stats, and it makes it pretty easy access, so you don't have to come in on your computer and grab it. But I check it every once in a while on my phone just to nerd out and see how things are going. Riveting topic for the day. All right, stop that.